Hey guys, what's up? Today I'll be reviewing the legendary and also controversial Astral Chain, a Nintendo Switch exclusive that was never released on PlayStation or PC, and it probably never will. So let's begin. Alright, let's address the game's controversy first before we get into the review. Nobody wanted this to be a Switch exclusive, and as a result, it was review bombed in different websites like Metacritic just because of that. Platinum Games had to come out and explain that this was a game planned to be an exclusive for the Switch since the very beginning. Nintendo was looking for a hardcore and mature action RPG from a Japanese studio for their console, so they partnered up with Platinum Games for that. Eventually, sites like Metacritic removed all their review bombs, but had these been clarified on press since the start, the controversy wouldn't have happened. A few years later, it was revealed that Nintendo owned full rights to the game, which destroyed the possibility of this game ever seeing the Steam or PlayStation Lite. I don't mind this exclusivity issue, to be honest, since I grew up with the 8-bit and 16-bit consoles, an era where most games were exclusive to one system, or they were at least very different on each console. But I can understand that a game like this is kinda wasted potential as a Switch exclusive, when it would have sold a lot more had it been released on PlayStation or Steam. In any case, I personally don't think it was a big deal back then. So now with that out of the way, let's get on with a review that I wrote several years ago in a top 5. The world has been invaded by chimera creatures from the astral plane, but the remaining humans build an ark thanks to the company Neuron, so everybody can live peacefully inside. But sadly, the chimeras soon find their way in, and it's up to you, a police officer of Neuron, to stop them. Sounds cliché, but trust me, it's a very good story and it gets gritty, dark and interesting as you progress. Everybody's complaint is that the protagonist, be it the guy or the girl, is silent, and it just doesn't work very well for the emotional moments of the game, while the character you didn't choose has a personality and does all the talking. But anyway, minor complaint. Developed by Platinum Games, this is an action RPG, one that is extremely hard to get into, but very rewarding once you do. Why is it hard to get into? Because every single button of your controller does something very important during battle, especially since you also control your Legion. There are 5 in total that you'll get throughout the game and serve different purposes while fighting and solving puzzles. They fight by themselves, but since they're chained, you can partially control their actions, particularly their skills. The camera isn't too bad during combat, but it can make you mess up, dodge poorly, or take damage when it isn't even your fault. Because despite trying to focus on you most of the time, it sometimes goes apeshit and focuses on the enemies or your Legion. The game was intended to be very challenging, and it is thanks to its really complex controls and mechanics, but it's also very deep and rewarding like I mentioned. One thing I also didn't love was the platforming. You can't jump in this game, so you depend entirely on sending your Legion to the next platform and pull your chain to get there. Because this is a 3D game, you can only imagine the frustration when failing to jump properly, specifically when obstacles are in the way or when enemies and bosses attack you. But then again, it's nothing that can ruin your experience. There's also some really fun stealth missions where you'll have to get by unnoticed. Yeah, they're pretty fun and they remind me a little bit of Metal Gear Solid. Police investigations are also included, where you need to talk to people in different parts of the city to get some juicy info. Since this is a very gameplay-focused game, these missions are very refreshing. You don't level up here though, the only experience system is met at the end of each chapter, where the game judges your performance. You can customize the abilities of your legions, increasing their stats or learning new skills. You also need to clean them up in this minigame, otherwise they'll fight poorly on the next mission. As for you, well, you can upgrade your weapons, a big sword, a baton, and the gun, with materials and money, but that's it. The music is a mixed bag, trying to make electronic sounds while meeting with rock and metal, but it's mostly electronic. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's forgettable. Lastly, the graphics for a Switch exclusive are tremendously good, barely any frame rate issues or low resolution during combat. It's honestly one of the best looking games I've played on the Switch, despite its dark and gritty visuals. 19 hours for the main game, so it's fairly short if you play on casual and skip most side quests, do everything and play on standard, and then you'll probably get more than 30 hours. There's a post-game too, but it's just challenge missions. I did about 7 of them until I gave it up. Thankfully satisfied, by the way. Amazing game here, it is strongly recommended. Once you get used to it, it'll be a blast, trust me. So yeah, this is a really good game, strongly recommended. It's not quite the masterpiece it was meant to be or supposed to be, at least not in my opinion, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there who do think of this game as a masterpiece. Now, hey dumbass, what the hell? This is not an RPG, so why don't you tell us why you think it's one? Okay, fair enough. So a lot of people don't think of this as an RPG. I think it is, first and foremost, because while you don't have a regular leveling system, your weapons level up, your legion levels up, you can use points to level all of these things up. Also, you go around the different city and the different segments and the different districts of the city, talking to people, interacting with NPCs, and to perform your investigations. And also there's a strong character development and character progression, which is something you don't usually find in a lot of regular video games. So it's got a lot of the cliches, a lot of the features a role-playing game has, and most importantly... Well, I'm not convinced, Eric. You're so full of shit like always. Most importantly, this is a game where you have a base of operations and you get sent to different missions, and the missions are long. Alright, so anyway, that's Astral Chain for you. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!